So can you give us your name?
Yes, my name's Shawna Cox.
Okay, and can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I am a mother, a grandmother, wife, and sister, and I am from Southern Utah.
Excellent.
We're a business owner. Okay, sorry.
Oh, okay. Now we're here to find out what happened here. So, can you give us the sequence of events of what happened? Start from I guess when they heard about the meeting to when you were I guess until you arrived here today.
The meeting in John Day. There was a meeting set up with the sheriff, was my understanding, and local ranchers that the boys were going to go in and teach them the Constitution. They had been asking them to come out. They do a presentation on the Constitution. It's wonderful. We've had a lot of ranchers that came to the resource center asking for that information. And we shared with them over and again about the Constitution and their rights. And there have been a lot of people who have understood. They came and it's been like the Lord sent them. There's just wonderful people who have come, and so that day, we knew that we were going to go. They knew that they were going to go. Usually I don't go with them to these meetings. I had other things that I was doing, and when it came about time to go, there was a family that had showed up a couple of days before that we had met before, and they have a number of children. It's the Sharp family, and we call them the singers because they're just beautiful children, and they sing so eloquently, and they're so great. They're gospel singers, and they bring the Spirit of the Lord with them, and it was just precious. And I tried a few times to get pictures of them during the recording, to record them a few times, because it's just so gorgeous. And but this evening they had decided that they wanted to go to the meeting, and they were preparing, and they'd gotten all dressed up in their fancy little clothes, and they were ready to go. They were going to go ahead of us. For safety reasons, we had kind of spread people out. They were deciding who was going first and how much time in between, and that was kind of for safety reasons. And they had left ahead of us, probably, I don't know, 20 minutes, half hour, something like that. I don't really recall the exact numbers because I don't know whoever was going. Number one, I wasn't planning to go because there was someone else that was going to go video. But the oldest daughter was still getting ready, and so she didn't leave with the family. So she was still there, and she was going to go with Lavoy and Ryan Bundy. But we couldn't find the person that was supposed to videotape. So I said, okay, I'll go with you, because I didn't want Victoria to be by herself, and she knew me and she knew Ryan, but I wanted to videotape so I could get a good one. I was packing up ready to leave and go home that day, and I said, I'll wait until we get back. So we all loaded in. Lavoy was in the front seat driving. Ryan Payne was security. He was in the right front, riding on the passenger's right side. I was right behind Ryan Payne. Victoria was between myself and Ryan Bundy. And we were traveling along. Victoria got kind of sleepy because I didn't know how far it was from John Day. We were traveling for a little ways, and we were starting up through the mountains. And I was texting and calling people and friends in John Day to say, we're coming, we're going to be there at 6 o'clock. If you want to come, bring your family, whatever, and come and see, because we have this family that's going to sing, and it will be a really neat concert. You need to come at least hear this and see. And so I was doing those things, and Victoria had fallen asleep on Ryan's shoulder. She was tired, and we're coming across this little valley. I looked up and noticed that there was a bunch of vehicles off on a side road. And that's about the time that Ryan and Lavoy also saw it and said, boy, there's a lot of vehicles there. And they were starting to move out onto the road. Behind us, who were supposed to be 15 minutes behind us or so, was Mark, I can never always remember his name, that was driving his Jeep, and he had Ammon, Bundy, and Buddha in with him, who was his security. But they were kind of behind us, not very far, because Mark kept wanting us to hurry and go together and and he kind of kept pushing that. They weren't far behind us. And the vehicles came out of the side road and got right in behind the Jeep. And they suddenly turned on these flashing lights. I couldn't see the flashing lights other than they were shining off the snow, because I was sitting in the back seat behind the passenger side, and there was a camper shell on. There was a lot of things in the back of that Lavoie's truck, and the camper shell was on, so I really couldn't see the vehicles other than when I turned, I could see the Jeep at that time with there's some lights, because I could see them slowing down, and it was kind of in the rear view mirrors where I could see that. And Ryan Payne told Lavoie that they were coming up fast and that he should probably slow down there. It looks like they're pulling us over. Lavoie said, no, we are going to John Day. We have a meeting with the sheriff, and we're got to get to John Day. And they realized that it was a kind of a setup. And so Ryan Payne talks to Lavoie and saying, look, dude, you need to kind of slow down. You better pull over, because they're gaining up on us. So finally, reluctantly, Lavoie slows down and pulls over. And he didn't pull very far over because it's a snowy road. But he slows down and he stops, and Ryan Payne rolls down the window and he sticks both hands out the window and he yells back at I'm guessing whoever it was with the flashing lights, and he yells back at him. It hadn't been 2 seconds probably, and his hands are out, and a shot comes through and misses his hands. I thought it hit him, but it hit the mirror, the little thing between the mirror and the window, and so that was the first shot fired, and he yanked back in really fast, and he goes, wow, they're shooting at us. Well, it was unbelievable, and we're going, whoa, what? And so Lavoie was gonna go on. And when I looked up, and he has on the back of his head, he has a laser pointing on the top of his head. There's a laser beam on his head. And he leans out in front of the mirror, out of the window, and he puts his hand out, and he has one on the steering wheel, and he yells back at them. And he says, then shoot me, because we're going to see the sheriff. We have a meeting with the sheriff and John Day, so just go ahead and shoot me if that's what you're gonna do. And then, of course, nobody shot him, but he put his head back in, and Ryan Payne decides to jump out the door. He gets out the door, and I guess they arrested him or whatever they were doing. I don't know. I couldn't see what happened because Lavoie decided we're going forward. They did say, I have to say, that they did say, Ryan said there's women in the truck. And he says, somebody from the back says, tell the women to get out. If they want to get out, tell them to get out. Lavoie says, if you guys want out, then get out. Well, really my door was still locked. But Victoria was freaked out already because we had already seen a bullet. And she said, I'm not getting out. When my mother instinct kicks in, and I said, I'm not leaving her. So I guess we're here. And we slunk down and he took off. So he's flying down the road, and I'm saying, Lavoie, do you think how far do you think we'll make it before they blow out the tires, because they're coming up fast? And he just barreled down, and I tried to dial out to tell somebody what was going on, and it was right in a spot that we had just lost. There was no service. None of us had cell service. Then we knew we were set up, because we could get no service whatsoever. We just had it. And now we had nothing. So I pulled up my camera quick, and I put it on record, and I'm recording what's happening. And just about, it hadn't been very far up the road, because suddenly Lavoie hits I don't know if he hit the brakes or we hit the slush, but we slide up, and I can see the ice and snow slushing up over, and we went swerving around, and then I could see the vehicles that were in the road. And we got stopped, and now we're stuck. and immediately there are lasers everywhere, all over, and Lavoy jumps out. He flings open the door and he throws his hands in the air and he jumps out and starts running through this deep snow. We can see him, and I have it on video, and we're just freaking out because there are